Mahadev, Jayo Jai Nrsimhadev. Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Shila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava Sakis ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Nrsimha Bhagavana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paravajikacharya Shotara Shota Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paravajikacharya Shotara Shota Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mathura Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Gangamai Yamunamai ki jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Brihad Midanga ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, Chapter 8, verse, text number 18. Kunti uvacha namasye purusham ivajam ishvaram prakrite param alakshyam sarvabhutanam antar bahir avasthitam. Kunti uvacham namasye purusham tvadyam. Namasye purusham tvadyam. Ishvaram prakritek param. Ishvaram prakritek param. Alakshyam sarva bhutanam. Alakshyam sarva bhutanam. Antarbahur avasthitam. Kunti uvacham namasye purusham tvadyam. Ishvaram prakritek param. Alakshyam sarva bhutanam. Antarbahir avasthitam. Prabhus. Namasye purusham tvadyam. Ishvaram prakritek param. Alakshyam sarva bhutanam. Avantarbahirastvitam. Yuvacha Sham Tvadhyam Ishvara Prakrite Param Alakshyam Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahiravastitam Matajis Kunti Uvacha Namaste Purusham Tvadhyam Ishvaram Prakrite Param Alakshyam Sarva Bhutanam Anam Bahira Svishtitam Acham Shamsara Bhutanam Hiranashvitam Kunti Uvacham Shrimati Kunti said, Namasye, let me bow down. Purusham, the Supreme Person. Tvam, you. Adyam, the original. Ishvaram, the controller. Prakrite, of the material cosmos. Param, beyond. Alakshyam, the invisible. Sarvam, all. Bhutanam, of living beings. Anta, within. Bahi, without. Avashitam, existing. Translation. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addresses him as the original Purusha beyond material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original or infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief amongst all living entities, Nitya Nityanam Chaitana Chaitananam. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara, or the controller. The living entities or the demigods like Chandra and Surya are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara, or the ultimate controller. He is Parameshvara, the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc., etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that the Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking certainly is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows. Translation one more time. Srimati Kunti said, "O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of material world. You're existing both within and without everything, yet you're invisible to all." Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shrimate Jai Pataka Swamiti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padane Gora Kata Damadaya Nagarama Tarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupeva Cha Patitanam Pandanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Nama Namaha. So today is a very special day, and we will mention something about that a little bit later. Now we will start with our verse today. So this is actually one of the prayers offered by Queen Kunti to Lord Krishna. After finishing the battle of Kurukshetra, when Lord was leaving for his own kingdom, for Dwaraka, at that time he came to take the blessing of Queen Kunti. Now, most of you know, but it's also very welcome to repeat, that Kunti was actually biological daughter of Shurasen, and he was the ruler of Yadavas. And her birth name was Prita. That was her birth name, but she was born as Prita. She is also said as the reincarnation of goddess Siddhi. And she was the sister of Vasudev. Vasudev, who was actually an authentic father of the Lord Krishna. And she shared a very close relationship to the Lord Krishna. Actually, she was his auntie. That means that Lord's father and her, they were sister and brother from the same father. So basically, it was not just the relationship of respect, it was actually very close relationship of two relatives. And although Krishna approaches somebody who is junior, right? Kunti Devi, she was his auntie. Still, she was the one offering obeisances to him, not the opposite. Because actually she knew that he is not just her nephew, but he is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore it was accurate, it was the proper, after Lord Krishna offered obeisances to her, that she offered prayers to him. And it was the right thing to do. So Krishna is coming to this planet as ordinary human being. But his purpose is to reestablish the principles of religion, and it was stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam abhasmasya tadasmanam svijayu aham. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata and the predominant race of irreligion at the time, I descend myself. So this is Bhagavad Gita 4.7. That means that Krishna is coming as ordinary living being. And sometimes even those who are not that fortunate, they have tendency to see Krishna as ordinary person, but he is not that at all. He is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Lord Krishna is the Lord of all living beings. And that's his primary, original, eternal position. And therefore we should first worship and obey in that direction. That means according to his eternal state, not according to his present appearance in front of us if we take part of his lila. Queen Kunti knew that very well. Srila Prabhupada in the class given in Chicago in July 4th, 1974, he stated, anything, Ishavashyam idam sarvan, anything, whatever we can see, that is property of the Lord. So, as the owner sometimes goes to visit his property or to see things, the management is going on nicely, so everything belongs to God. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Loka Maheshwara. This is the mistake not only of the modern but of the whole material civilization. We believe actually that we are Purushas. We believe that we are owners. A lot of different fights, even Battle of Kurukshetra, if you say one side it was fight for owning, being a ruler of some kingdom, of some piece of land, on some part of something which originally belongs to Krishna, to the Lord. And we often has tendency to take that ownership from the Lord and stating, this is my land, this is my house, this is my piece of kingdom. But actually nothing belongs to us. Even sometimes there are fights or court cases between people about ownership of the land. And guess what? After so much fights, they're both living bodies and the land still stays. Same land. And then some new owners are coming, trying to prove that land is theirs. But actually, originally, all land belongs to the Lord. Even if it's part of this material existence, it's not different than the Krishna. So basically, it's part of his ownership. He is the Purusha. So that's a fact. So Queen Kunti, she knew that therefore she offering her prayer, Namasya Purushantva. She's saying, Lord Krishna, you are the Purusha. You are the one who is ownership of everything. And Purusham actually originally means enjoyer. So Krishna is not addressed, Purusham, this is the female word generally in Sanskrit, but the point is that Krishna is a Purusha. He is a male. He is not addressed as a female in this case. There are many, we live in Bengal, and we are also witness that many families around, they worship a lot of Durga Devi, right? And Durga Devi is actually, some of them even see her as supreme. And she is supreme on one way. How Srila Prabhupada said one time, she has the supreme power, and she's supervising the supreme energy, the energy within this material world. But that supreme energy is external energy. The name of that energy is Durga, only the name of that energy, but owner of that energy is Krishna still. So basically, Durga actually means, the real translation of word Durga is very difficult to overcome. That's the proper translation of that word. And everyone is trying to overcome the difficulties of this material world, but this is very, very difficult. Therefore, the Durga Devi is the one who is keeping that, who is trying to give us the final test in this material, not the final, but many tests, to overcome in this material existence. So in Bhagavad Gita, it said, Daivihi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. This is Bhagavad Gita 7:14. You cannot surpass the strength of laws of material nature. So basically, we cannot surpass. This is our struggle for existence. Material nature is offering some difficulty, and we are trying to overcome them again and again, all the time. Most of life of one regular person on this planet is based on spending time to try to overcome difficulties. But actually, is it really the point to overcome difficulties in the world where it is not possible to overcome difficulties? This whole world is meant to have light and dark, black and white, difficulties, struggles, and some small, teeny, happy moments from time to time. And we either will accept that or trying to fix it, and that fixing is actually not possible. If we want to fix it, we need to go somewhere else or to do something else. We're going to discuss about it. Is it really possible or not? So, just by accepting this material body, which we are wearing right now, this external cloth that we have at the moment around our soul, we accepted also the full nature of material world, with all rules and regulations which characterize that material world. And we cannot skip that. One time I remember Bhakticharu Maharaj was giving class here a few years ago, and he mentioned one interesting thing which stuck in my mind. He was saying that Do you understand that there's more than 300,000 ways how material body potentially can suffer and struggle? 300,000 different ways. And he's saying it's not possible to overcome all 300,000 ways and to come out as I'm super. I don't have troubles anymore. Soon as one trouble is over, the next one comes, or 2, 3 at the same time. And instead of trying to overcome that, it's better to do something else, to become a little bit more spiritual and connected with the Lord, which is the right way of going. So, this is our struggle for existence. Material nature is offering some difficulty, and we are trying to overcome those difficulties. This is not characterized just for the human body. Animals, they're going through the same kind of struggling. They also sharing the similar rules. Only the problem for animals is actually they cannot have so much benefit of going in the higher levels of consciousness like the human beings can. And this is our big advantage on this planet. So to accept this material world means to accept different types of material bodies. And so long you have got this material body, either you got the body of human being, a human body, or you got any other body, it's not possible to overcome anxiety. And even Srila Prabhupada mentioned one time in Los Angeles, it's not possible to be without fears, to be the fearless. It's not possible unless you don't achieve the certain level of Krishna consciousness. So, why is that? In general, although we know only for this reality, this material world is not something really familiar to us. Our original nature is spiritual being. And we are kind of a guest here in material world. We are somebody who has spiritual soul with material experience at the moment. And that's why if you go even through this life, from the childhood through the age where you are at the moment, you should be asking sometime yourself, where I am right now, is it real? What is going on at the moment? I mean, we are changing during one lifetime, even few families. We are born with family with father and mother and sisters and brothers. Then gradually we married, we make one another family. Then children, they go their own way. We got the third stage and third age of life. And we are changing even few families during one lifetime. And we are changing few houses, few homes, few countries. So, what we can call home? There is explanation. Srila Prabhupada is saying that we are actually foreigners here in material world. And actually our real home is the spiritual world, and Krishna doesn't like nothing more but to send us a message to help us to go back home. So there are 3 kinds of miserable conditions in material world. 3 different kinds of miserable conditions, and those are Adhyatmika, Adhibautika, and Adidaivika. You all heard about that. So in Srila Prabhupada lecture in Los Angeles in May 16, 1973, Srila Prabhupada said, that is called 3 division. Or there is no cough, means even if we are healthy, if we are not coughing, or there is no trouble, but you receive one very unsatisfactory letter from a friend, you become very sorry. This is called Adhyatmika, penetrating to the mind and body. That means everything what is happened, any issues, any troubles with our mind or our physical body, this is Adhyatmika. This is part of this miserable, this trouble. Then next one is Adhibautika. I mean, bauta word means living being. Those are miseries which are produced by other living beings in our life. That means those who are surrounding us. It could be even family members, it could be friends, it could be relatives, it could be people that we never met, it could be even somebody on TV, somebody on social network. You know, those kind of miseries that produce, and we are facing with that every single day, especially with, you know, internet and everything which comes to that extra connection with more beings during the day. There is more mystery, and this is Adhibautika. And the last one is Adidaivika, and this is Daiva. Daiva means the higher authorities or higher beings. We have different unseen forces. We have something what many people on this planet call fate. We have demigods. So all different troubles, which those kind of living entities which are not really easy to recognize in our life, but they're there. Those are kind of higher beings, we call them. Not all the time higher, but let's say, put it this way, it's invisible for our senses at the moment. You know, that one, those kind of miseries we call Adidaivika. And Srila Prabhupada was saying also that this is just like a heat. You know, now it's really hot in India. It's almost May, become beginning of May, end of April, and we are all facing that extreme heat. And heat you cannot overcome. You can hide in some room and turn AC on, but you cannot turn sun off. You cannot put AC on the sun. It's not possible. That's there, and that's some fact that we have to accept in our life. Now, the question rises, is it possible really to attain peace in material universe? Is it possible to overcome disturbance? Is there any chance for us? Or we should just accept, give up, raise our hands and said, okay, that's it. We need to suffer. Actually, the answer again lies in Bhagavad Gita, and answer is yes, it is possible. Bhaktaram yagyatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram subram sarva bhutanam jatva nam shantim richati. This is Bhagavad Gita 5:29. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living beings, attains peace for the pangs of material miseries. So it is possible. For whom it's possible? Again, a person in full consciousness of me. That means that if we develop the full consciousness of the Lord, connect with the Lord on all different levels of our material and spiritual existence, then all miseries of this world stops for us and we achieve the peace. And through that peace we can achieve even the higher levels of consciousness. We can develop the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is in Bhagavad Gita 1866 the famous verse, Sarva Dharman Parijyacha Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. And that last part, do not fear, is very important for us. Krishna is saying that you don't have to worry. You don't have to think maybe that you're either wasting your time of going deeper into relationship with me, or that you have some more important things to do, otherwise your whole life will fall apart. Do not fear, just surrender to me and I will help you. I will guide you through this process. And this is very important for us, that we are not alone. Many times we feel alone in our life. We feel that there is nobody to help, that there is no hope for certain things, but actually the Lord is always with us. Every second, even when we dream, even when we sleep, He is with us. He is not leaving us for one single moment. Sometimes we decide to leave Him. Sometimes even we decide to enjoy in our miseries. You probably have experienced some people, they just love enjoying in their misery. They're suffering, they have certain problem in their life, and then create out of that the whole big segment of their life. Instead of trying to overcome that and to become positive and to go back into a relationship with the Lord, they make unhealthy relationship with themselves. They make very bad relationship with the self. That means they start enjoying in their miseries. Poor me, oh poor me. I'm so useless person. The point is that we need to feel humble. We need to have that straw in our mind. But also we need to respect everything given by the Lord that we possess at the moment. That we are temporary owners. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I'm the talent in the person. Krishna is saying, I'm giving remembrance, I'm giving forgettings and everything else. So everything what we remember and everything what we have a talent to do, that's the Lord. And that's there with a particular reason for us to serve Himself, the Lord Himself. And this is the best way to overcome the miseries of this material life. So the most important word in all these verses is Sharaman. Sharanam means surrendering, surrender. And Sharanam is actually, the literal meaning of that word is giving up the temporary plans. Please, if anybody in this room doesn't have any kind of plans for next 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, 1 month, 12 months, please raise up your hands. Jai, you are in very good position, Prabhu. But most of us, we make plans. We have some ideas. And if those plans are in line with the Lord, with the Krishna consciousness, those plans are good plans. But if we have temporary plans which are just created for our enjoyment or trying to overcome the miseries of material life, those are those temporary plans that we are talking about here. Those are plans that we have to give up and just to surrender to the Lord. So there is explanation on which way, how much Krishna wants us to go back to the spiritual world, how much he wants us next to himself. An explanation is that he wants us to go back same like father wants his son. When son wants to become independent, to live somewhere else, to do something else, to go far away, father, the real father, is very patient and he is supporting son, but at the same time he has a burning desire for son to come back home and to be with him. And Srila Prabhupada said this is the closest how we can explain how much Krishna wants us to go back to the spiritual world. And he is looking for every possible opportunity in our life that we open towards him, and he is giving us hints, he is giving us all different tools that we need to come back where we belong. And not to be foreigners anymore, Bideshi. So it's already quite late, so I want to mention today is also a very special day for several reasons. One reason is that today is Sri Krishna Vasanta Rasa. As you know that Krishna has 2 times his rasa dance, his rasa, with another gopis, and Rasa Lila is happening one time in Sharadiya season. And Sharadiya season, this is autumn, right? And another time is in Vasant, in spring season. And that's today. And so basically today is a very special day because Krishna has, today is a full moon. And that full moon is the most auspicious time where Krishna is going out and performing this special spring rasa dance with the gopis. And usually in this day we're supposed to worship Radha and Krishna with many flowers and place them in the rasa mandapa surrounded by the gopis. And Sri Krishna Vasant Rasa is similar, excepting that is in the spring, in Vasant, and this time everybody dressed in yellow color because it's spring, right? Even we remember when it's first day of spring, we all dress in yellow. So today is also a very auspicious day to dress in yellow color. Ladies, yellow sari is auspicious today as well. So on this full moon night, the devotees usually leave our pots of sweet rice, prasadam, outside of their houses for Krishna, if he gets tired of the rasa dance, to come and to taste that sweet rice. And interesting thing is that in Vrindavan, they celebrate more the rasa dance in autumn season, during Sharadiya, but here in West Bengal, the more popular is this rasa dance today, means rasa dance in Vasant month, in the month of spring. And you will see that many of those who are following the Hindu tradition, they're really going to make a sweet rice today and bring pots outside of their houses and leave it during night. And that will be the maha pots in the morning, if some remaining still there, if Krishna is not too hungry after dancing the whole night. So another very important thing, and for me it's one of the greatest things today. Today is not just Krishna's dance, but it's also Balaram's dance, Balaram Rasa Yatra. His transcendental brother Shri Balaram also performs a rasa dance at that time. And Balaram Rasa Yatra is happening in another place. It's not at the same place where is Krishna dance. So in order to keep the gopis of Vrindavan satisfied, Lord Balaram stayed there continually for 2 months. And those months are namely Chaitra and Vaishaka. Vaishaka month is second one. For those 2 months, he kept himself amongst gopis, and he passed every night with them in the forest of Vrindavan in order to satisfy their desires. And Balaram is also enjoying the rasa dance with the gopis during those 2 months. I'm just going to read the exception from Bhakti Ratnakar. There is an important book, and it's Balaram rasa dance is explained really well in that book, and it's very beautiful description of the whole lila that I don't want to spoil just trying to do interpretation. Instead of that, I would like to read it for you. It's beautiful. Balaram, the son of Rohini, performed his rasa lila in Ramagat. This place is situated quite a long distance from where Krishna had his rasa lila. Balaram was the second body of Krishna himself, and the depth of his real self was like the depth of millions oceans. He came to Vraja from Dwaraka and stayed during the 2 months of Chaita and Vaishak to console Shinanda, Yashoda, and the others. He pleased his sakhas in various ways. Sakhis. There also Balaram gave solace to all Krishna Priyas and charmed his own dear and loving gopis by having leelas with them. At the time Krishna killed Sakachuda, then Krishna and Balaram both performed divine leelas with their own lovers and played holy. Only a learned devotees can describe the beauty of these celestial activities. In Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita Murari Gupta says, "Look at Ram and Krishna, who are covered with the jewels and suitably dressed for springtime. In a humorous mood, they perform their kelis with their own beautiful Vraja ladies. They are gracefully dancing and singing in delightful mood with their pretty gopis. The gopis who were not fortunate enough to associate with Krishna forgot their sorrow when Balaram performed his lila with them. How Balaram increased their enjoyment is beyond description. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Bhagavan Shri Balaram stayed in Vraja for 2 months and supplied divine enjoyment to the gopis each night. Sri Rangava continued to describe the beauty of Balaram at the time of his Rasa Keli. O Srinivas, knowing that he would perform his Rasa Lila with his dear lovers, Balaram happily came to this place. This pleasant spot, situated near Jamuna river, was continually filled with scents air. The flowers of the gardens were in full bloom, and the sky was bright from the full moon. The humming of bumble and the sweet whistling of different birds surcharges the atmosphere. Millions of male and female peacocks danced, and many deer played in the garden. As Balaram relaxed beneath a tree, the guards in heaven sang the glories of Rohini Nandan, whose beauty and posture could fascinate the world. The following is a song. The white conch, kunda flowers, camphor, and the silver-white mountain bow down to Balaram's beautiful bright complexion. His curly hair, the beauty of carefree looks on the hair on his forehead, his bright tilak stilled the hearts of young maidens. His lotus eyes are restless, and his eyebrows danced like black bumblebees near his bright earrings. With a short nose and a face which conquers the splendor of the moon, it seems like nectar pours from his body. His arms are decorated with bangles, and jewel necklaces adorn his strong chest. His thin waist makes the lion feels insufficient, and his blue dress enchains his figure. His beautiful shaped thighs and feet fascinate the hearts of all who see him. O Srinivas, who can keep his composure seeing the splendor of Baladev? It was here that Ram sat on the jeweled throne in the graceful Ramotsav dress. The beauty of Baladev conquers millions of Kamadevas, and every moment of his charms the Munis and Indras. The glory of his body, which brightens the three worlds, can win the pride of million moons. The silky black curly hair covering his head is decorated with a jewel set crown and flowers. His lips are red as bima fruit, and his teeth sparkle like pearls. A garland of Vaijayanti dangles from his powerful neck. The reddish color of the soles of his feet defeats the sun, and the brightness of his nail conquers the darkness. Srila Balaram ki jai. So, yes, it's the great day for all of us to remember the beauty of the Lord Balaram and his transcendental shine, and to keep this memory somewhere in our head, and to pray that this Lila help us to develop love for him and his divine brother Lord Krishna. Today is also auspicious day because it's day of appearance of Sri Vanishwat Thakur on the full moon of the month of Chaitra, which is today. Within Kulia exists the village Tekhari. The sons of Shiva, I'm reading because I'm not familiar with all these words, so I'm just going to read, and then I will give you one story about Vanishwat Thakur, why he is important for us as well. The sons of Shikhar Chatrapadaya moved from Bilvagram or Patuli to Bachyanagram. Shri Yudhishthir Chatupadaya has three sons, Madhavadas, Sri Haridas, and Sri Krishna Sampati. When Mahaprabhu came from Puri to have darshan of his mother, if you remember, when Mahaprabhu was coming from Puri, he was already sannyasi, and he was not in position to come to see mother in person. That means so the closest when he was coming was actually Kulia. Kulia is actually what is Navadvip today. That time the name of that place was Kulia, and this was Navadvip town, which is today Mayapur actually. So basically Mahaprabhu was coming up to bank of Ganges, up to the Kulia, and when he was coming there, he was actually staying for 7 days in the house of Madhavadas in Kulia. At this time he executed Devananda Pandit, excused Devananda Pandit along with all the other offenses of everyone else. Therefore this place is known also as Aparada Banjan Pat. That means place where aparadas can forgotten. And it's good place when we do sometime aparada to go and pray and to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to help us to overcome our aparadas. So Shivamshi Thakur appeared in the home of Sri Madhavadas, in the same home when Chaitanya was staying for 7 days. His mother name was Srimati Chandra Kaladevi, and his incarnation of Sri Krishna's flute. On the day of his birth, Mahaprabhu was present in the house of Sri Madhavadas, along with Sri Advaita Acharya. Both of them were present. And Madhava was very devoted to Mahaprabhu, and Prabhu was also very affectionate to him and his son Vamshi. Vanshi Das was present at Navadvip when Acharya Prabhu came there. So he was actually engaged for a long time in the service for Vishnu Priya, the second wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why is important for us, he was the person actually who moved the deity of Dameshwar from Navadvip town, Mayapur, known today, to Kulia, to Navadvip, which is familiar, which is Navadvip today. And he established that temple. I mean, it was not in that opulence like today, but it was moved over there, and he was worshipping that deity on the other side of Ganges. So after this whole lila of moving Dameshwar is actually happened after Vishnu Priya Mataji left this planet. So during her presence, deity was not on that side; it was on this side here. After she left, then he moved the deity. This is written in the scripture that I found. So the name of the temple and deity is Dameshwar, and they said that name it is actually written that his name, Vamshi Vadanandan, sorry, Vanshi Vadananda, this is the name which was exactly written. It's below the base of the deity of the Meshwar. So if you turn deity of the Meshwar a little bit, you will see his name also carved in the base of the deity there. It's sad. I didn't saw, so I'm just saying what is written. When his descendant Ramachandra Goswami came to live at the Bhagapar, by the mercy of Janava Mata, the worship of the deity passed into the hands of residents of Malancha. So they are even doing the worship. They were doing the worship for a long time, very long time. And then the whole story about deity is going on, but for us is important because it's his appearance day today. And he is also very important because he composed a song about the Lord appearance of sannyas based on lamentation of Sri Sachimata and Vishnu Priya. So he was the one who wrote that song. Some say that Ramachandra Goswami, or Ramai, which was present that time, the son of Chaitanya Das, who is actually son of Vamshi Thakur. Goshai was an incarnation of Vamshi Thakur, that he came back again one more time. So another important thing for today, and it's almost 9 o'clock, so I will just mention, today is also appearance of Shyamananda Prabhu, and he was a very dear friend and follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's actually one of the 3 personalities which it's said that they came to this world to spread the glories of pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Basically, they showed up later after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the planet. And one was Shyamananda Prabhu, Srinivasacharya, and Narottam Das Thakur. All 3 of them, they knew each other, and they were basically, they were being quite good friends, and they were spreading the glories of the pastimes, and they have the very big, everything what was left from Narottam Das Thakur and others, from that time. Actually, we can also offer obeisance to Shyamananda Prabhu, who was one of the collectors of all these pastimes and who was helping Narottam Das Thakur in his endeavor. So, Shyamananda Das Thakur ki jai, Shyamananda Prabhu. That much I prepare for day. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. If you have any question or comment, even better. I'm not much qualified to answer questions, but otherwise I wish you the beautiful, you have some, okay, please. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
As mentioned that we are suffering minimum 3,000, there is some pains and all during your life.
300,000, yeah.
300,000.
Yeah.
So actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, we are not bodies,
Yes.
only we are spiritual souls.
So we don't suffer at all, actually. The body suffers.
Therefore, the pains are only meant for bodies.
Yes.
So, okay, when we agree, then anybody tolerate the suffering, supply thinking that I am only souls.
Yes.
Everybody will say, to whom you are going to ask about their inquiry about them, they said everybody were happy, we are happy, we are happy.
Yes, exactly. Actually, I heard one when I was in Europe one time. I heard one very interesting explanation from one of our respectful sannyasis from our movement about how much is connection between spiritual knowledge, the science, and the math, like mathematics, even can be proved as a formula. And he was saying that when we are trying to escape the suffering of the body and mind and other kind of suffering and miseries, that we are all only going through in two-dimensional world, right? X and Y. We are moving like this or like that. But actually, if we want really to go out of that misery, because misery is just two-dimensional, we have to add the third dimension to skip outside of that square which we're coming left and right. And that third dimension is depth, and actually that depth is Krishna consciousness. Once we awake our conscious being, once we awake our true nature, then we stop feeling that misery. We start feeling less and less until one moment it doesn't disappear, because it's not that misery is not there. It's still there, but we are not there anymore. We are elevated, we are on the spiritual platform, and we don't feel the same frequency where this material body resonates. Krishna also, when he comes, he's showing as ordinary being, human being, but he's at the same time here and he's not here. There is explanation that here Krishna is internally in spiritual world on Golaka Vrindavan. He never leaves it. But at the same time he's here also. Same like sun and sun rays. So in the same way we can achieve the platform where we still have a body. We still have all these miseries around us, but we don't feel it anymore, because we go much deeper into ourselves. We are not on X and Y anymore, but we go to Z, and we come closer to the Lord, and we start feeling only pleasure and joy. We stop feeling miseries. There is no space for miseries in our life anymore. And those who understand that, they start enjoying in the spiritual knowledge and spiritual performance and Sankirtan more and more and more. And those are levels actually which we are trying to achieve. This is why we came also on the Holy Dham here, trying to learn that science and trying to convince our mind to help us, to become our friend, not the worst enemy. And that's the whole beauty of what we are trying to do. Because if somebody on this planet can overcome the miseries, those are those who are learning the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual science. And we should be grateful every single day that we are on the right place, in the right time, in the right moment, with the right people. How many devotees, what more we need in our life? It's perfect. Thank you very much for your question, Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. I actually prepared, but it was already 9 o'clock, and they told me to be very sharp, Prabhu who is organizing. That's why actually today is an amazing day. It's really a very special day, and I heard that besides wearing the yellow color and offering the sweet rice and everything, it's very good day to spend in reading, in going through different lilas. That means today we should not be in this platform, material platform. We should go a little bit deeper. We should chant extra rounds, and we should also go deeper into vidya, into spiritual knowledge. So I want to encourage all of you, but we should not also forget one thing, that although we can have a lot of enjoyment today, we still have many devotees who are suffering, and especially His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu and other devotees. So please don't forget praying for all these devotees. We have quite few cases, and let us all together pray for them, and let us chant one time Hare Krishna for all them, and hope that they will recover soon successfully. So please, let's raise up our hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava Stasakis ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada